The whistle pierced the humid Brooklyn air like a knife, and I froze mid-jump, the ball slipping from my fingers as his body crashed into mine. Deliberate, electric, unforgiving. "You're too trusting, Alex," he growled low, his lips brushing my ear just enough to send a shiver down my spine that had nothing to do with the court. In that split second, as we tumbled to the hardwood, I saw it in his eyes. Not just hunger for the win, but a storm brewing, the kind that could drown us all, or pull me under forever. That was the night everything cracked open. Our team, the Brooklyn Bridges, a ragtag crew of queer kids and misfits who'd found solace slamming shots under these rusted hoops, was invincible in spirit, if not always in score. We'd started 3 years back in a dingy community center gym, a haven for guys like me. Out, proud, and perpetually dodging the world's sharp edges. I was the captain, the glue. Alex Rivera, 28, with ink-sleeved arms from too many late-night tattoos and a heart scarred from a high school expulsion that still haunted my dreams. We'd clawed our way to the city amateur league finals, a miracle on a shoestring budget of donated sneakers and Gatorade runs. But rivals lurked in the shadows, especially the suits from Midtown Mavericks, that glossy corporate squad bankrolled by homophobic venture capitalists who saw our rise as a threat to their traditional turf. He showed up unannounced at our last practice before the semis, striding onto the court like he owned it, tall, broad-shouldered, with a jawline that could cut glass and hazel eyes that scanned the room like a predator. His name was Jordan Hale, he said, flashing a grin that lit up the dim fluorescence. "Heard you guys need a forward. I'm in from Chicago, crashing with a cousin. Play me in, coach." Our coach, Mia, a no-nonsense lesbian in her 40s with a whistle that could summon storms, eyed him suspiciously but let him run drills. The guy moved like poetry in cleats. Crossovers that left our point guard, Theo, eating dust. Fades that kissed the rim sweet. By the end, we'd voted him in unanimous, me included. His laugh echoed off the walls, deep and disarming. And when he clapped my shoulder, firm, lingering, I felt a spark I hadn't chased since my last disaster of a hookup. Little did I know, Jordan wasn't some wandering baller chasing glory. He was a plant, a mole dispatched by the Mavericks' shadowy backers to fracture us from the inside. I'd learn that later, in the gut-wrenching unraveling that would test every bond I'd built. But that first night, as we piled into the corner bodega for post-practice beers, his knee brushed mine under the sticky table, and I let myself believe in beginner's luck. "Two upsets?" he toasted, clinking his bottle against mine, his gaze holding just a beat too long. God, I was hooked already. The next weeks blurred into a rhythm of sweat and secrets. Practices ramped up under the relentless July sun, the asphalt courts baking our sols as we drilled plays till our lungs burned. Jordan slotted in seamless, his energy infectious, pushing Theo to sharpen his handles, spotting for our center, Raj, a trans kid with a jump shot like a cannon. Off-court, he wove into our tapestry. Late-night runs to juniors for cheesecake, where he'd steal bites from my fork with a wink. Group hangs at the Eagle, our dive bar with rainbow flags fluttering like promises, where he'd lean in close during darts, breath whiskey warm, whispering trash talk that felt like foreplay. I fought it at first. My history was a minefield. Dumped by my college boyfriend after he couldn't handle the stairs. Ghosted by a barista who turned out to be deep in the closet. Love for guys like me in New York was a high-wire act. Exhilarating, but one slip and you're splattered on the pavement below. Yet Jordan chipped away effortless. He'd text at 2 a.m. "Can't sleep. Your three-pointers replaying in my head. Coffee tomorrow?" We'd meet at that hole in the wall on Flatbush, steam rising from our mugs as he'd trace patterns on the table with his finger. Innocent until it wasn't. "You're intense out there, Alex," he'd say, voice gravelly. "Like you're fighting the whole damn world." I'd shrug, but inside, he'd nailed it. The Bridges weren't just a team. They were my rebellion against a world that had tried to bench me for being gay, Latino, unapologetic. Subtle cracks appeared early, if I'd paid attention. A Maverick scout lingering too long at our scrimmages, notepad in hand. Whispers from Raj about overheard calls. Jordan stepping out during water breaks, voice hushed and urgent. But I was blind, Drunk on the way, he'd linger after showers, towel slung low, droplets tracing the V of his hips. One evening, post-drill, as thunder rumbled over the East River, we got caught in a downpour racing for the subway. Soaked to the bone, laughing like idiots, he grabbed my hand under the awning, rough palm against mine, thumb stroking my knuckles. "Run with me," he murmured, and we did, dodging puddles till we ducked into my walk-up in bed Stewie, dripping on the linoleum. The air thickened there, charged like the storm outside. He peeled off his shirt, revealing a canvas of faded scars. "Knife fight from his rough Chicago youth," he said later, and I couldn't look away. "You're staring," he teased, stepping closer, the space between us humming. My heart hammered as I closed the gap, our mouths crashing tentative, then fierce. Salt and rain and something rawer, like coming home. His hands mapped my back, pulling me flush, and for the first time in years, I let go, whispering his name like a prayer against his neck. We didn't rush. It was slow, reverent. Kisses that tasted of possibility, bodies aligning like puzzle pieces long lost. Afterward, tangled in my thrift store sheets, he traced my tattoos, murmuring, "You're building something real here, Alex. Don't let anyone take it." I believed him. Hell, I loved him already, though I hadn't said it. The team buzzed with our vibe, Theo ribbing us endlessly, Mia warning me with that mom glare to keep your head in the game. We were peaking. Wins stacking up, the semis looming like a beacon. Jordan's integration felt faded, his plays syncing with mine in a dance of picks and rolls that left opponents scrambling. But fate's a cruel jester, and the betrayal hit like a fast break to the gut. It unraveled 2 nights before the big game, in the underbelly of a pre-match team dinner at our favorite soul food spot on Nostrand. Laughter flowed with the ribs and mac, stories flying. Raj recounting his top surgery triumph, Theo mimicking a heckler's slur from last week's tilt. Jordan was electric, arms slung casual over my chair, but his phone buzzed insistent under the table. He excused himself, slipping out back, and curiosity or paranoia pulled me after. Through the alley's chain link, I caught fragments. "Yeah, they're vulnerable on the wing. Feed me the intel, I'll plant the doubt. By finals, they'll fold." His voice, that same timbre that had cooed endearments in my bed, now laced with ice. My blood turned to lead. I burst through the door, phone in his hand like a smoking gun. "What the fuck, Jordan?" The words ripped out raw and ragged. He spun, face draining of color, hazel eyes wide, not with guilt, but a frantic plea. "Alex, wait. It's not." But I was already reeling, pieces slamming into place. The too perfect arrival, the sidelong glances at scouts, the way he'd probe our weaknesses like a therapist unpeeling scars. "You're a goddamn spy," I spat, chest heaving. "Sent by those maverick pricks to sabotage us? To break what we've built?" The alley echoed my fury, distant sirens wailing like mourners. He lunged forward, hands up. "Listen, my cousin, he's in deep with their backers. They cornered me, said they'd ruin him if I didn't. I was supposed to stir shit, leak plays. But I couldn't. Not with you. Not with this." His voice cracked, and damn if it didn't twist the knife deeper. Tears streaking his rain-slick face, mirroring that night we'd run home. "I fell for you, Alex. For all of this. I was gonna come clean after the game. Lies or truth?" My fists clenched, knuckles white against the brick. Part of me wanted to deck him, watch him crumple like the trust he'd torched. But another part, the one that had felt his heartbeat sync with mine, wavered. "You played us?" I whispered, voice breaking. "Me. Like it was all a game." He reached for me, but I jerked back, storming inside to a table of confused stares. "Meeting's over," I barked, tossing cash for the bill. The drive home was a blur of neon and rage, Theo's texts lighting up my dash. WTF happened? Jordan bailed, looking wrecked. Sleep evaded me that night, sheets cold without his weight. Dawn crept in gray over the brownstones, and I laced up for solo shots at the empty court, each swish a futile exorcism. The team needed me whole, but I was fractured. replaying his touch like a curse. By noon, Mia called an emergency huddle at the gym. The crew assembled somber. Theo fidgeting, Raj hugging his knees, our bench warmer, Eli, a quiet non-binary artist with killer free throws, sketching nervously in the corner. I laid it bare, no varnish. Jordan's duplicity. The maverick scheme to undermine our safe space with whispers of doubt. Planted injuries, stolen morale. Gasps rippled. Theo cursing in Spanish, Raj's eyes welling. We booed him, Mia declared, voice steel. But I hesitated, the romantic fool in me clinging to his plea. He said he switched sides. What if? Theo shot me a look, pity laced with fire. Cap, love's blind, but this? It's betrayal. We fight without him. The day dragged in limbo, accusations flying like loose balls. I ghosted Jordan's calls, each vibration a fresh wound, till evening fractured with his pounding on my door. I yanked it open, fury masking the ache. Get out. He stood there, duffel slung over his shoulder, eyes red-rimmed. I'm leaving, for real this time. But Alex, please, I never meant. Words failed him, and he stepped in anyway, the door clicking shut like a verdict. We collided then, not in anger but devastation. Fists to chests turning to clutches, sobs muffled in shoulders. Why? I demanded, pulling back to search his face. Why us? He sank to the couch, head in hands. Money. Pressure. My life's a mess. Debts from Chicago, family bullshit. They dangled a payout, clean slate. I took the job blind till I saw you. Your fire, the way you lift these kids up. It's more than a team. It's family. I couldn't torch that. His confession spilled. The calls were fake-outs now, intel twisted to mislead. He'd sabotaged their sabotage, feeding bad plays that'd leave the Mavericks flat-footed. Proof tumbled from his phone. Texts, timestamps, a recorded call damning their lead. It was enough to sway Mia later, but in that moment, it was just us. Two broken men in a tiny apartment, the city humming indifferent outside. I love you, he whispered, first to say it aloud, his hand cupping my jaw. Not the game. You. I kissed him then, desperate and forgiving, lips bruising, tears salting the seal. It wasn't absolution. Scars lingered, trust a fragile rebuild. But in his arms, I glimpsed redemption's edge. Prove it, I murmured against his mouth. On the court, with us. He nodded, fierce. Every damn play. The semis dawned electric, Madison Square Garden's bowels buzzing with underdog fever. Our locker room pulsed, jerseys crisp, faces painted in rainbow streaks. A fuck you to the hecklers who'd called us fringe freaks. Jordan suited up last, eyes locking mine across the steam. Silent vow in the nod. The Mavericks strutted out polished, their captain sneering at our huddle. But we circled tight, Mia's pep talk a war cry. This ain't just ball, it's survival. Play for the kid who hides his flag. For the love that scares him shitless. Tip-off soared, and chaos reigned. They came hard. Elbows sharp, trash talk laced with slurs that refs swallowed like candy. Jordan guarded their star. A towering brute named Vance. Bodies slamming in a ballet of brute force. I fed him the ball on a break, our sink flawless. His spin move drawing the foul, my three splashing clean. But midway, conflict crested. Vance cornered Jordan in the paint, whispering low, something about paid plant and go back to the closet. Jordan shoved back, technical called, and the crowd's roar twisted venomous. Halftime loomed 42-38 their lead, locker room a pressure cooker. Theo iced his ankle, Raj hyperventilating doubts. They're on to us, Eli muttered, but Jordan stood, voice steady. They're scared. That's why they cheat. He pulled a crumpled printout, his leaked intel. Now a Mavericks playbook blunder we'd anticipated. Gasps turned to grins. The tide shifted. Mia's eyes met mine. Trust earned, fragile but fierce. Second half exploded. We pressed full court. Jordan steals igniting fast breaks where I'd alley-oop to Raj. Dunks thundering like thunderclaps. Conflict peaked at 1:20 left. Score tied 78 all. Vance drove baseline, Jordan contesting, foul called, but whispers rippled. Their bench erupted, demanding review, accusing us of queer tactics. The ref huddled, tension coiling like a spring, fans chanting slurs from the cheap seats. My pulse thundered. One wrong call, and our dream shattered. But Jordan, my Jordan, didn't flinch. He pulled me aside during the timeout, sweat-slick forehead to mine. This is it. For us. The whistle blew. Free throws swished, then our press forced a turnover. I broke free, Jordan's pass arcing perfect. Layup good. Foul drawn. Crowd erupted neutral now, our rainbow flags waving defiant. Final possession. Their heave clanged off iron, Theo's rebound to me. Buzzer beater 3, nothing but net. 85-82. Pandemonium. We mobbed the court, bodies piling in joyous heap. Theo's whoops, Raj's tears, Eli's sketches forgotten. Jordan found me in the crush, lifting me off my feet, kiss fierce in public. Fuck the cameras, fuck the world. We did it, he breathed, and I believed him. Not just the win, but the deeper victory. Betrayal mended, love forged in fire. Finals blurred into legend. Another upset, Mavericks imploding on their own poison plays. But the real change? Post-championship, Jordan stayed. He patched his cousin's messes, started a youth clinic in our gym. Teaching not just ball, but resilience, the art of coming out stronger. Our team swelled, a beacon in Brooklyn's grit. Queer, fierce, unbreakable. Months later, under those same rusted hoops at dusk, Jordan dropped to one knee. Not ring, but a custom jersey. Rivera hail forever. Laughter bubbled through tears as I pulled him up, our kiss sealing it. You changed everything, I whispered. He grinned, that disarming flash. Nah, we did. In the end, it wasn't about the sabotage or the glory. It was the human thread, the betrayal that birthed trust, the love that outran the storm. In America's concrete jungle, we'd built our own skyline. Tall, unyielding, alive with heart. Life post-finals felt like floating on that final buzzer's echo. Weightless, surreal, every street corner in Brooklyn whispering our triumph. The garden clip went viral. Our pylon, Jordan's kiss cutting through the confetti like a statement. Headlines in the Post screamed Rainbow Slam. Bridges bridged the gap. While queer blogs hailed us as the team that queered the league. Sponsors trickled in, Nike drops, a Gatorade deal that stocked our fridge for a year. But the real win was the kids. Lines formed at the gym door. Shy teens with scuffed kicks, eyes hungry for more than drills. Jordan and I co-coached now, our scars woven into lessons. Bounce back, he'd say after a missed shot, winking at me. Like we did. But peace is fleeting in a city that chews dreams for breakfast. Whispers resurfaced a month in. Anonymous tips to the league about irregular recruitment. Code for sniffing out Jordan's past. I brushed it off at first. Paranoia from the betrayal's aftertaste. But Mia's texts grew urgent. Board meeting tomorrow. Bring your A game. The amateur league, for all its scrappy charm, bowed to corporate puppeteers, and the Mavericks' money men pulled strings like puppeteers in a bad Broadway flop. That night, Jordan cooked. His Chicago deep dish attempt, cheese bubbling over like our overflowing lives. We ate cross-legged on the floor, wine loosening tongues. What if they boot me? He mused, fork pausing midair. His vulnerability hit like a chest pass. The guy who'd stormed my world now second-guessing his place. I set my plate aside, crawling to straddle his lap. They touch you, they touch all of us. My fingers threaded his hair, tugging gentle, a reminder of that alley confession. He pulled me down, kiss deepening slow, bodies remembering the language words fumbled. No rush, just us. Breath sinking, hands exploring like rediscovering home. Afterward, curled against his chest, heartbeat a steady drum, I traced his scars. You're stuck with me, Hale. Morning brought the hammer. The league office in Midtown gleamed sterile, glass walls mocking our grit. Mia and I sat rigid as the board droned. Ethics violations. Integrity concerns veiling their homophobia. Jordan's file splayed open, his association with Mavericks affiliates a scarlet letter. He's a liability, the chairwoman intoned, a pinched-face exec in pearls. Fury boiled. I leaned forward. Liability? He saved us. Turned their spy into our star. Gasps rippled, but Mia backed me. Her testimony a bullet. Recordings? Affidavits? Our championship proof. The vote hung 4-3 against expulsion, a razor reprieve. But the cost? Probation. Jordan benched for 3 games, rehabilitation sessions with a league shrink who reeked of conversion therapy vibes. We stormed out seething, Mia muttering about lawsuits, me plotting petty revenges like glitter bombing their SUV. Jordan waited curbside, leaning on a lamppost like a noir hero. We're good. His smile faltered at my nod. But in the cab home, he cracked. Benched? More time for bad pizza experiments. Laughter bubbled, but under it, fear gnawed. What if this chipped away, turned love to resentment? The benching tested us. A slow burn conflict that simmered domestic. First game without him, we scraped a win. Clunky, heart-pounding. But the empty sideline echoed his absence. Post-game beers at the Eagle turned maudlin. Theo grilled me. You holding up, Cap? Dude's face said it all. Jordan showed late, nursing a soda, eyes tracing my every move like a shadow. At home, tension sparked. Not anger, but ache. Missed that pick and roll, he murmured, hands sliding under my shirt as we undressed. I arched into him, whispering, missed you more. Our lovemaking that night was urgent, reclaiming. Nails raking backs, gasps swallowed in the dark. But dawn brought reality. His sessions, sterile offices where he'd return quieter, jaw tight. One evening, 3 weeks in, it fractured. He'd slammed the door too hard, collapsing on the couch with a curse. That quack asked if I'm conflicted about my orientation, like it's a phase I can therapize away. Rage mirrored mine. I dropped beside him, pulling his head to my shoulder. Fuck him. You're mine. Tears wet my shirt, his, rare and raw, unleashing stories I'd only glimpsed. Chicago foster homes, a dad who beat queerness out till he ran at 16. The Mavericks offer a devil's bargain for stability. I was lost till you, he choked. This team, it's the family I never had. We cried together then, ugly and cathartic, then made love soft, fingers interlaced, eyes locked, whispers of forever. It mended something deeper, turning probation to purpose. Jordan channeled it. Guest spots at Pride events. Penning op-eds for Out magazine on The Closet in Cleats. The team rallied fundraisers for legal fees, rainbow warm-ups that trended on TikTok. But the real storm brewed external. A Mavericks whistleblower, Vance's disgruntled cousin, leaked emails proving the sabotage plot. Scandal erupted, headlines blaring league's dirty plays. Homophobia in the huddle. The board reconvened emergency, our side armed now. Testimonies poured. Raj on the slurs that fueled his fire. Eli's art exhibit of benched but unbroken sketches. Jordan testified last, voice steady. I came to destroy. I stayed to build. That's the American dream, right? Second chances. The vote flipped unanimous, cleared with apologies and a diversity clause etched in bylaws. Elation hit like overtime. Hugs in the hallway, Mia cracking her first smile in weeks. Yet victory's shadow lingered. Finals rematch loomed, Mavericks desperate for redemption. Their backers lawyered up against the leaks. Practices intensified, Jordan unleashed. His drives ferocious, syncing with mine in plays we dreamed up in bed. Off-court, our bond deepened. Weekend getaways to the Catskills, hiking trails where we'd fuck against trees. Laughing, breathless, or just sit, hands linked, watching leaves turn. Marry me? He asked one crimson dusk. Ring simple silver, engraved with our numbers intertwined. I tackled him into the ferns, yes tumbling from lips between kisses. Hell yes. The rematch night crackled. Garden packed. Celebs in rainbow pins. Protesters outside waving love wins signs. Tip off, and it was war. Elbows flying, scores nodded at every buzzer. Conflict climaxed fourth quarter. Vance fouled Jordan hard, shoulder to jaw, blood trickling as refs swarmed. I charged the fray, red-carded for my shove, but Jordan waved me off from the bench, ice pack pressed, eyes fierce. Finish it! Down 2, 20 seconds. Theo's steal, my drive. Dish to Raj for the slam, tie. Maverick's last shot, airball. Overtime. Exhaustion clawed, but love fueled us. Jordan subbed in bloodied, guarding Vance to a turnover. My 3 sealed it, 102-98. The dogpile was legend. Cameras flashing, Jordan's arms crushing me. Kiss salty with sweat and victory. We changed the game, he panted. And we had. Post-season. The league transformed. Inclusive charters, scholarships for queer athletes. Our clinic boomed. Jordan's second chance hoops, mentoring at-risk youth nationwide. Me? I proposed back on our court under the hoop where it started, kneeling with his jersey as ring. Tears, cheers from the team, a future etched in hardwood. Betrayal's ghost faded, replaced by grace. In America's flawed arena, we'd scored not just points, but humanity. Proving love, once sabotaged, rebuild stronger. Jordan's hand in mine, we'd run the floor forever. Expansion brought chaos we hadn't anticipated. Like a fast break you can't call timeout on. By spring, the bridges weren't just Brooklyn's secret. We'd franchised light, satellite teams sprouting in Queens and the Bronx, drawing talent from shelters and pride centers citywide. Jordan and I juggled it all. Dawn drills, donor schmoozes, nights collapsing into each other with takeout and exhaustion. Our wedding loomed 6 months out. A low-key affair at the gym, officiated by Mia, with skyline views and a playlist of anthems from RuPaul to Springsteen. But under the fairy lights of planning, old wounds itched. It started innocuous. A letter in the mail, unmarked envelope with Jordan's Chicago return address scrawled in faded ink. He paled reading it alone in the kitchen, crumpling it before I could glimpse. Nothing, he lied, but his eyes, those hazel storms, betrayed him. I let it slide once, twice, till the third came, postmarked the day after a donor gala where he'd ghosted early, claiming a migraine. Talk to me? I pressed that night, blocking the bedroom door. He sighed, unfolding the paper. A plea from his estranged sister, Lena. Dad's dying. Liver from the bottle. Wants to see me. Us. The word us hung heavy. Jordan's family, a vault he'd sealed post-foster chaos. Stories trickled over time. A mom lost to cancer young. A father who wielded belts for sissy tears. Siblings scattered like shrapnel. He made me hate myself, Jordan confessed once, post-love haze, till you showed me mirrors reflect strength. Now, this, a deathbed summons, laced with regret or manipulation. Conflict brewed domestic, my reassurances clashing his doubts. Go, I urged. Closure's a shot worth taking. But he balked, fearing the pullback to toxicity. The team sensed the rift. Practices sloppy, Theo's jokes landing flat. Raj pulled me aside post-drill. Cap, you two okay? Looks like you're guarding ghosts. I deflected, but guilt gnawed. Our harmony anchored everyone. Mia mediated over coffee, her wisdom blunt. Love's not a solo drive. Pass the ball, Alex. Inspired, I booked tickets, surprise, one way to O'Hare. We're facing this, I told him, tickets thrust like a challenge. His laugh was watery, arms crushing. Bossy fiancé, fine. But if he swings, you're my out. Chicago hit like a cold front. Wind whipping off the lake, Jordan's tension coiling tighter with each mile from the airport. We rented a beater car, driving Southside streets scarred by his youth. Corner stores with bars on windows, murals of fallen kings. Lena met us at a diner, mid-30s echo of Jordan. Same jaw, haunted eyes, hugging fierce. He don't deserve you, she whispered to me. But blood's messy. The hospital loomed sterile, beeping monitors a dirge as we entered the room. Ed Hale lay shrunken, tubes snaking like accusations, gaze sharpening on his son. Dad, Jordan rasped, hand finding mine, a lifeline. Ed's voice wheezed. Knew you'd come. Heard 'bout your team. Fancy. The word dripped disdain, but softer than expected. Talk stuttered. Apologies mumbled for beatings, for disowning when Jordan came out at 17. Thought it'd toughen you. Jordan's grip bruised. Tears unshed. It broke me. Ed nodded, frail hand extending. Fix what I couldn't. Love that boy, right? To me, eyes appraising. You the one? Treat him better, and I did. I swallowed bile, nodding. Always. We stayed 2 days. Awkward meals with Lena, walks by the lake where Jordan unloaded decades. The Foster flips, street scraps for survival, the Mavericks gig as a desperate grasp. You're my anchor, he said, waves lapping our feet. I kissed his temple, salt mingling. And you're the tide that lifts me. Forgiveness didn't bloom easy. Ed passed quietly that night. No epiphany, but release did. At the funeral, sparse pews and Jordan's eulogy. He taught me pain. I choose grace, cracked the dam. Sobs racked him in the cemetery, me holding steady as earth swallowed the past. Homebound, lighter, we dove into wedding prep with renewed fire. Invites winged to 100. Team core, donors, even league brass on probation watch. The gym transformed. Hoops draped in tulle, court lined with wildflowers shipped from Jersey farms. Bachelor party, Theo's masterstroke. Rooftop bar crawl, drag queens serenading us with single ladies remixed queer. Jordan, tipsy and beaming, pulled me aside mid-toast. Never thought I'd have this. You. Our kiss drew cheers, but later, in our bed, it deepened slow worship, bodies mapping vows unspoken. Ceremony day dawned golden, Brooklyn buzzing bridal. I paced in the back office, suit tailored sharp, navy with rainbow cufflinks. Theo adjusting my tie with brotherly jabs. Don't trip, Cap. Jordan's the klutz. Laughter eased nerves till the doors swung. And there he was, down the aisle of cheering teammates, in cream linen, eyes locked mine like a free throw line. Vows poured raw mine. You crashed my court, stole my heart. Now we run it together. His, choking. From sabotage to soulmate. I do, forever. Rings exchanged, simple bands etched with bridges built. And Mia's you may kiss unleashed pandemonium. Hoots, petals, a confetti cannon dousing us. Reception raged epic. DJ spinning Biggie with Gaga mashups. Raja's slam dunk cake cutting. Eli's mural unveiling. A court scene of us mid-kiss. Teammates orbiting like stars. Dances blurred. Father-daughter with Lena via video. Me and Jordan slow grinding to At Last. Whispers of honeymoon plans. Amalfi Cliffs. No ball to bounce. But mid-swirl, conflict intruded. A league suit cornering Jordan by the punch. Congrats, but about that expansion clause. Expansion? Our satellites thrived, but bureaucracy loomed, threatening fees that'd gut the clinics. We tabled it for the night, escaping to the rooftop for stolen breaths. City lights twinkled accomplice, his head on my shoulder. Worth every fight, he murmured. I nodded, kissing his ring. And the win's yet to come. Honeymoon haze faded into grind. But the clause conflict escalated, board demanding audits. Fiscal responsibility code for squeezing our queer focus. Petitions flew, social media storms. Save the Bridges trending, celebs like Billy Porter retweeting. Climax hit boardroom showdown. Us versus Suits, armed with spreadsheets and stories. Kids' testimonials on how our safe space staved suicides. Jordan's closing. This isn't business. It's lives. Vote. Ours 6-4, expansion greenlit with grants. Triumph tasted sweeter shared. Team barbecue under the stars. Toasts to resilience. Betrayal's echo? A faint backbeat, reminding us growth demands guard up. But with Jordan's hand in mine, we'd foul out any shadow. 2 years married, and the Bridges empire sprawled. A network threading New York's boroughs, touch points in Jersey and upstate, all queer-led, all unbreakable. Jordan and I balanced it like pros. Him handling ops, me on community outreach, our apartment a war room of white bards and wedding photos. Life hummed content. Mornings tangled in sheets, coffee brewed strong, Evenings coaching till the kids' laughter echoed home. But America's underbelly doesn't sleep. Prejudice simmers, waiting for a spark. The flare-up ignited in Philly, our newest satellite launch. A local evangelical group, Family First Alliance, picketed the gym ribbon-cutting, signs screaming, "No grooming in our games." Slurs chanted like hymns. Our crew, fresh-faced Philly queers, mirrors of our Brooklyn start, held firm, but videos went viral, twisted narratives painting us as predators in jerseys. Backlash cascaded, donor pullouts, league murmurs of reputational risk. Jordan fielded calls stone-faced, but at night, his sleep talk turned tormented. Mutterings of Chicago ghosts, betrayals bite. I woke him gentle one dawn, thunder rattling windows. "It's them, not you," I soothed, but doubt creased his brow. "What if I'm poison?" Tainted the team from day one. Heartache twisted. His self-flagellation an echo of my own post-expulsion days. We talked it out over pancakes. Sticky, therapeutic, vowing to fight fire with floodlights. Strategy session with Mia. PR blitz, ally roundups, a play for pride tournament to reclaim narrative. But under it, emotional undercurrent pulled. Our bond, tested anew, craved reaffirmation. That weekend, we escaped to Fire Island, Queer Haven, dunes whispering secrets. Boardwalk strolls hand in sway, sunset picnics with Rose and reminisce. "Remember that alley?" he teased, sand between toes. I laughed, tackling him playful. Best sabotage ever. Lovemaking on the beach house deck. Waves crashing counterpoint to moans. Bodies urgent under stars. Sealed our pact. United, unyielding. "We're the high score," I gasped, his laugh vibrating through me. Morning brought clarity. Back to battle, stronger. The tournament loomed massive, multi-city showcase. Arenas packed with supporters countering the hate. Prep was frenzy. Theo coordinating logistics, Raj designing teas, love fouls hate. Eli's murals adorning venues. Jordan shone, charisma rallying sponsors. I handled press, my coming out story a shield turned sword. But conflict crested eve of. An alliance mole infiltrated, leaking doctored evidence. Blurry pics implying impropriety at practices. Smears exploded. Fox News hit pieces. Twitter storms of cancel the bridges. Panic rippled team-wide. A late-night huddle dissolved into tears. Younger players questioning safety. Jordan and I paced the gym, moonlight slanting through hoops like spotlights. "We shut it down," he ventured, defeated. No fire in my gut roared. "We play harder." Dawn called to lawyers. Forensics debunked the fakes, but damage lingered. I penned a public letter raw, first-person fury. "They call us threat? We're salvation. Join us, or get benched by history." Published in the Times, it ignited. Shares in millions, Straits allying, even a maverick exec outing as buy in solidarity. Game day dawned defiant. Philly Arena electric, counter-protesters drowned by our roar. Tip-off, and it was catharsis. Dunks defying doubt, threes threading hope. Jordan's speech pregame, mic to the crowd. "This court's for every kid told to sit out. We rise." Tears flowed free, his mind the stands. We won handily, but victory was the mosaic. Diverse fans hugging strangers, signs swapped for solidarity selfies. Afterglow faded into fallout. Alliance sued for defamation, but our evidence crushed it. Settlement their apology, donation to our clinics. The league? Mandated anti-bias training, our model. Personally, the ordeal deepened us. Therapy sessions joint, unpacking betrayal's layers till trust gleamed bulletproof. Jordan's milestone. Visiting Lena's grave, scattering Ed's ashes lakeside, me beside. "Full circle," he whispered, hand in mine. Expansion accelerated, national footprint, podcasts on queer plays. A docuseries greenlit by HBO. Home life bloomed. Adopting a rescue pup, Max, who chased balls like a mini Jordan. Lazy Sundays meal prepping empanadas, his mom's recipe reclaimed. Anniversaries marked courtside. Second with a vow renewal under the original hoop. Team as witnesses. Yet humanistic heart pulsed in the small. Mentoring a shy point guard, Mateo, closet deep till our one-on-ones cracked him open. You saved me, he hugged post coming out. Jordan's grin. Nah, you did. That's the change. Ripples from sabotage to salvation, one heart at a time. Betrayal's scar? A tattoo now, inked together. Intertwined bridges over turbulent waves. In America's arena, we'd proven. Love doesn't just endure. It redesigns the game. Legacy isn't built in buzzer beaters. It's etched in the quiet aftermath. The lives nudged off ledges. 5 years wed, the Bridges network spanned coasts. LA courts with palm-shaded rims, Seattle gyms fogged by rain and resolve. Jordan and I, silver-threading temples, helmed it grizzled. Him so smooth in boardrooms, me grassroots, knee-deep in kid crises. Our story? Folklore now, podcasts dissecting the sabotage, a YA novel optioned from Eli's sketches. But fame's facade cracks. True drama brews personal. The slow erosion of ever after. Decrepit and subtle, Jordan's fatigue, chalk to travel at first. Flights blurred. Philly to Portland, donor dinners devolving to yawns. Jet lag. He'd wave off, but my gut twisted, flashbacks to his post-probation pallor. Checkups dismissed it, stress, they said. Till a Seattle trip, mid-speech at a youth summit, he faltered, words slurring, arm numb. Our lights harsh, diagnosis thundering. Early MS, multiple sclerosis. A thief stealing strides, the very gate that had stormed my court. Devastation hit seismic. Hospital bed. Monitors beeping banal. Jordan's joke fell flat. Guess I'm benched for good. I clutched his hand, knuckles to lips, tears hot. We'll adapt the plays. But inside, terror clawed. What if this sabotaged us anew? Our love, built on motion, dribbles, dashes, desperate runs, now hobbled? Team rallied instant. Mia flying in, Theo's care packages of adaptive gear, Raj's research binders on trials. Yet conflict churned internal. Jordan withdrawing, canceling drills with headaches. Nights staring ceiling bound. I confronted it head-on, post a cancelled LA practice. Home in our expanded loft, view of the bridge that named us. He sat wheelchair testing, wheels silent accusation. Talk! I demanded soft, kneeling. Walls crumbled. Fears of burden, of dimming my light. You deserve runs, not ramps. Heart shattered. I cupped his face. I deserve you. Period. Lovemaking shifted. Gentle, inventive. His hands guiding mine. Breaths fierce in the pivot. Still us? I whispered, his moan affirmation. Dawn brought pact. No hiding. Public disclosure, our power. The announcement dropped raw. A joint video, gym backdrop, Jordan's chair front center. Change up, he grinned wry. We're suiting up different. Views soared, but so did trolls, slurs calling it karma for the spy. Hate mail piled, but humanity flooded back. Celebs sharing disabilities, donors doubling for research, a wave of adaptive athletes joining ranks. Climax crested at our anniversary gala. Garden rented, stars orbiting. Jordan rolled on stage, mic'd. Sabotage taught me break. This builds unbreakable. Midway, tremor hit, hand shaking mid-gesture. But he owned it, voice steady. Watch, we adapt. Crowd rose, thunderous. My pride swelled, tears blurring. Post-gala, private on the court. Empty now, echoes ours, he pulled me down. Scared. Truth, yes, but more alive. Our kiss will creaking soft, sealed evolution. MS marched, good days of assisted drills, bad of frustration-fueled spars, but therapy wove resilience, yoga flows, voice-activated coaching apps. Team innovated. Inclusive designs, roll and shoot leagues exploding nationwide. Legacy deepened personal. Adopting Mateo, now 19, his guardian angel duties flipping to family. Dads. He beamed at our first game night. Max curled at Jordan's feet. Holidays hummed. Thanksgiving with Lena's kin. Christmas courtside carols. Jordan's book deal. From mole to metal. Memoir of redemption. Royalties funding MS wings in clinics. Highs peaked humanistic. A White House invite, Obama-era holdover praising our bridge building for Unity Awards. Lows, a bad flare, Jordan hospitalized, me bedside vigil. Whispers of vows renewed in foreglow. Still joining? He quipped weak. Forever, I vowed. Years blurred to decades' edge. Bridges a non-profit behemoth, 50 cities strong. Queer youth suicide rates dipping in our zip. Jordan, Kane days now, still strategized from the sidelines. Hazel eyes sharp. Me, graying captain, heart full. On our court, sunset gilding rims, we'd sit, his head on my shoulder, Max snoozing. Changed everything, he'd murmur. I'd squeeze his hand, and still changing. In America's vast court, flawed, fierce, we'd turned sabotage to symphony. Betrayal's bass note lifting to love's crescendo. Humanistic close. No tidy bow, just enduring play. Deep, dramatic, defiantly ours. The whistle blows eternal. We run the floor, together.